Welcome back. Our next guest is a man who carries the fire of rockabilly in his soul and the dirt of the northwest slopes in his boots. A proud Gomeroi man and the son of a legend, he has carved out his own formidable path as one of Australia's premier bluesmen. If his father, Roger Knox, is the king of country, then our guest is undoubtedly the prince of blues. Growing up in a house where music wasn't just a hobby but a way of life, he mastered the guitar with a style that is both blistering and deeply soulful. He took the storytelling traditions of his heritage and fused them with the grit of the Tamworth music scene, creating a signature sound that bridge walks between old school rock and roll and raw, authentic blues. He's a formidable storyteller who commands the stage with a world-class band known for a live energy that can turn any room into a juke joint. From headlining festivals across the country to his celebrated performances at the Tamworth Country Music Festival, he has proven time and again that the Knox musical legacy is in very capable hands. A multi-award winner and a relentless performer who keeps the spirit of the big beat alive for a new generation. He is a bridge between cultures and a titan of the fretboard. Please welcome the guitar, slinging powerhouse and the pride of Tamworth, Buddy Knox.
Well, hey, I like that. How you doing? Well, I can say I like it. I like when they feel good about me.
Yeah, I show that.
No, look at a lot of that's true, though. Oh, yeah. Most of it's true. Jeez.
The fact that, music's a big part of your family.
Yeah, that's all I really know. I always have a bit of fun with people and say, these days I can't even dig a ditch. I got to be able to do music now to make something. So, yeah, that's always there. I remember when my mother taught me how to play, I tell a funny story. She taught me how to play D, G, and A. So I tell the people, I said, well, my mother taught me how to play the guitar, and I did a couple of shows, and now we're here. I leave the big gap here. But it's pretty much, all this stuff that's going on in the middle from when I first learned to now is just all music and trying to mentor young people for the next generations to come through. And I do that, and I'm not being arrogant or nothing. I'm good at it because I understand I understand. I'm trying to be in the music business to see what is happening, and if they sing country, we sort of know who's the one that should be looking at. If the R&B, I think they should be looking here, or jazz or hip hop. You know what I mean? So that's what I do now. But it's all from over the years coming through. I saw the old guys went before me, like Uncle Jimmy Little and Uncle Collard and Oriel Andrew and Brother Bobby McLeod and Big Sims, people like that. They were Harry Williams. They were Miguel Donovan and Aileen, Gus Williams. All these people. They're the ones I come up around, and I take a lot of that with me today. And my father, he was first, of course, because he was there in the beginning, and he still had feed with him last night, so he's still chilling. He's still going. But that's what I'm all about anyway. And we got to be able to play the blues. We can talk it all day, but you got to be able to play.
I was going to ask you, how you started. It all, the guitar, they started with the chords D, G, and A.
G, sit. My father was like D, G, and A. And there's some of the best songs that were written in the world. That's come from Robert Johnson's Chuck Berry, right through to Gary Clark Jr. if he's in the blues scene. It's just all have that. And that's what I started with, so I'll go on a good track.
That was the guitar. What about the singing?
No, I don't even today think I'm that, I don't even think I'm that great a guitar player. I've just been around a bit longer than a lot of them. But the singing, I don't believe, like the God like you that have a voice. I got no voice compared to that. My kids are way better than I could ever be. And I want that anyway. I don't think I'm a great singer. I don't think I'm a great songwriter. I just think we got some experience and, which way to go and, what to leave alone or what to go for. That's just because of the experience. So, but talent-wise, I'm not.
He's a very this man can sing.
Yeah.
And you got that in you too. It's
I agree with that. That's one thing. I know that I can hear that stuff, and a lot of people they just can't hear it. And these I've been around people that are been in the music business and been around big bands and just around a lot of music. But they ain't got. I think you don't need to be around that good ear. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that develops early. If you can get that early, that's good. You're in good shape.
unbelievable. So what age is your earliest memory of the music?
Well, then when my mother taught me how to play D chord.
Yeah.
That's when I first remember. And I have a whole story about why I played, because of my father. He was involved in an airplane wreck. I learned to play guitar about 1977-ish. Yeah, about 77. And my father, he was on the road and he was involved in an airplane wreck, and he got all burnt and he couldn't play, and he knew I could play, and he asked me to learn in his songs and play with him, and I didn't want to be at school. I wasn't welcome there, so I said, well, bugger it, I'll hit the road. Don't ask me to. I hit the road, and I stayed there because of I was on the road all this time because of my father asked me to help him.
And what age were you at that?
When I first did it with him, I was about 12, down 13. I was 13 when he had that Eric.
So for those don't know, Uncle Roger Knox, he was in 2 plane crashes.
Oh, that's right. I didn't mention. Like the first one was a control crash, and there was about 8 artists on the plane, and they were getting from Burke to Udendata, and they had engine trouble, and they control crashed it into the desert, and then while they was trying to find the strip, they were radio on ahead, and people come there anyway, and got the pilot and went into Udendata and got a little plane and brought that out, and it was ferrying the artists back and forth all day, and he was in the last trip, and the guy just flew it into the ground. He just. There's a song about it. It's on my new album. But it's called Burning Man. But so that's what happened that day. And that's why if you don't crash, I don't know if I play.
Ask you to play, and then where do you do your first performances?
Now, just with him at we went to. I still do them now. I took Tinja to some I know what they call it, the older people places. You go in there.
Like a home?
I like them home, to go in and sing some songs to, some, I went there with him. And I remember that was a whole shame. But I did it, and it just went from there. We'd go at Walden, Brewan, Colorado, these places first, because where blackfellas could go, you had to navigate yourself around when you're blackfellas in them early days. You just couldn't go anywhere. And the pubs and the clubs were sort of not a big thing. But although when I come through, there was Murray's getting in. Mm-hmm. And I got with Cole, and I'm like, Jimmy, he got in, but he took the brunt of all this for us. Mm-hmm. But then when we was coming through, we got the opportunity to play a club now and again when we'd support our local call. Mm. But that's those early days, and I still remember it. What make me what I am.
So that was at 12 years old.
I was about 14, about 4 time on the road, yeah.
and then how long was it before the first international show?
Oh, well, we got an opportunity to do an international fair in Nashville. It wasn't a country music thing, it was just an Aboriginal thing. Indigenous thing. Yeah. We just went to this international fair in downtown Nashville and went from there. Because before all this, right, before we went to that the trip overseas, we was playing a few prison concerts, like doing jail concerts. around New South Wales, because there was a guy called Ivor Chicken Dixon
Yep.
and Jack O'Walker and Chicka's brother Athol. They were, especially Jack and Chick, they were ones getting some funding for us to go around and do that. And we'd go and play all the major prisons in the state, and just go there with a like a talent contest. So you'd go with a packet of cigarettes and a transistor radio, the ones with the one speaker and a cassette player. That'd be first prize, and then the second, third, whatever, break the smokes up. This is the 80s, so you could do that. So yeah, it would. And there's one story I'll tell you about that too. We was at one jail one time, and because you had to get everything in one go, and the mic stands were left in the car. We only had two, and they were left in the van. And we had to, people had to hold them like if they wanted to play and sing. And no one got up in the talent contest. There was only one guy got up. This was a jail. It was in Coma. And one guy got up, and he played the song, and his mate held the mic for him. And so the guy that played got the first prize, and the guy that held the mic, he got the full carton of cigarettes. They would have been all over him for the next few days. But he won second prize, and that's just how we did it. It didn't matter what they did. If you tell a joke, you do a dance, you sing a song, tell a poem. That's how it was. We do that. And one time, Jack brought a guy from a Native American dude from Canada, a Native Canadian guy. And he come and watch one of these shows, and that's how come we made it to go and play the prison system in Alberta, Canada. There.
We did it in the 80s.
That's 80s, late 80s.
Yeah, late 80s, 80s ago.
I was the first trip my father got on after the crash, and I was sitting next to him and thinking, wait, he can't have three crashes.
No, it's fine.
Oh, yeah. There's a story in it.
And that's all as Roger Knox. Was that what it was called, Roger Knox? Or was it
Roger Knox and the Uraba Band?
And the Rubber Band. Who was that made up of?
That was me. There's a guy that I looked up to. His name was Harold Brown. He was a guitar player. He's one of them. I thought he was, after Harry Williams and Candy Williams, I thought he was the next best. I thought, he was. I thought, he'll beat Harry. That's what I was thinking. but yeah, he was so good.
Had guitar?
Had guitar. Playing.
Okay.
He does a good. I thought he was my hero. So there was Harold playing guitar. I was playing some rhythm guitar. And Covenant, I seen him there yesterday. George playing drums. He's lefty too. And there's Steve. Michael Knox, my father's younger brother, who I'm close to in age. And there was another guy, Lloyd Hipper, and they were all doing Murray's. So
yes,
all got just got a group together and play where we could. It didn't matter if it was the biggest thing was the Oasis pub in Walgett. But I remember when Charlie Perkins with his soul, like he secured it, the pub. Like they got that Oasis pub, and I think it was him. I don't know the full story, but I know that that's the Blackfellas pub, and we played, and that was a big deal. And then Murray's was there everywhere.
Yes, so for Buddy Knox, rhythm guitar.
Yeah, just playing
the Rubber Band.
Yeah.
How long is it before you spread out and into London?
That's so the early 90s was I got called to by a guy called Brian Young. He was an old troubadour guy. He was the one that was doing the touring when my father crashed. That was that Brian Young show. But he was flying then. But when I come up, he was driving the country. So I got on that tour. He asked me to come and be a part of it. It was the end of the tour. It was the Cape York run. Well, I went and got on that. And then the following year, I made the Kimberley run as well. And back across to Townsville, Daly, whatever. But I did that in 89, 90. I did 2 runs with Brian Young, and
as Buddy Knox.
So I was one of the artists on the show. And Troy, because Daly was on the second year. Troy was already on the tour when I caught up. And nobody knew him then. He was just Troy. And so I was on that run with him in 90. It was 1990. And it just went from there. I started, and after that, what happened with me is we're still playing with the old fella, doing things I always did. We knew Sammy Butcher and Neil Murray and the Butcher boys in the early 80s. They came to home, and there's photos of that. And I was only just starting to play then, and I forgot to mention it. But they came around again, and they asked me to play as a part of the band.
Really? So for those who don't know, tell them about Sammy Butcher in Northern Territory.
Yeah, Sammy Butcher, he was from a place called Pulpanya, and he was one of the founding members of the Warumpi band, and him and Neil and George was front man, and the Sammy brother, I can't remember which brother was, played the drums. Anyway, Tinja I know, my son, he knows, but the Butcher brothers and Neil and George was front man. That was the Warumpi band, and they was the first Indigenous band that would sing in language. They recorded, not singing, but recorded it, and because others were doing, but they were recorded there. One of the first, well, the first to record the language. And then after they did their big tours, they come home, and the boys, they didn't want to travel all the time. I know Sammy didn't like flying, so if Sammy didn't make it, they finish up ringing me. I was on one of the tours early 90s, and I just they'd always ask me to come through the 90s. I did it like 10 years off and on, playing with the boys, with the band.
Okay, yeah. So still playing guitar for them.
Still playing guitar.
But when you were first taken on this other tour as Buddy Knox, what were you doing? Quite material.
Oh, you mean the Brian Young show? Well, you just did what you knew. You didn't. So it was just artists that were coming up. They would just sing any songs. They'd try to swing the country songs, but I wasn't good at that. So that's what it pretty much was. You didn't. Well, Troy had some songs written, but he mostly did the covers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So most artists did that.
Yeah,
and that's what I did.
Okay, so that tour you were really just playing guitar for other people as well?
No, I had my own 4-song spot. Everyone did. So the bass player had a spot, a song, the guitar player. I was the rhythm guitar player. They had one that might have come on, and Brian started. The guitars had his instrumental spot. The guy that was the guitar player of that tour was a guy called Ricky Ship, rest his soul. Ricky Ship from Kamilaroi. He was one of the best pickers in the country.
So blues.
And then that's so yeah. And then after I was just doing all this stuff, I just having good times playing with Warumpi band. My father, I even hooked up with this rockabilly band, and but then I always played blues in the room because there was no one that understood or even listened to it. I did. Even though I first heard Chuck Berry and Little Richard and I can't think of the other guy, Jerry Lee Lewis. My father had them because he was a rock and roll guy. Really, he liked them rock and roll songs, and he'd sing country because that's what everyone wanted to hear. But I knew he had them rock and roll out, so I listened to them. And Chuck was a blues guy, and so was Little Richard. They come up out of that, and then I found Muddy Waters and to B.B. King, and I just went from there. I felt all that. That's what I wanted to do, and that's what happened.
Yeah. So now we're talking about the mid-90s.
Yeah, well, we're still doing some of the Warumpi stuff, see, and that more from the Warumpi and I was playing guitar with guys like Bob and McLeod and Uncle Cole. They'd ask me to come and play, and Mike Donovan was playing as well. Michael Donovan he'd play bass for them, and they'd call me in if they didn't have the guitar player, and I'd go. I did a few things really, but then at the end of the night, really it was early 2000. Is when I met Fiona,
your manager.
Yes, sir, and I couldn't talk to white people. They wouldn't listen to me. I didn't know how to talk to them like that. But if I had someone that knew, that can translate or get the message over that I wanted to be there, and she could do that. And I said it before. I said they wouldn't listen to me unless I had a pretty white girl saying it for me. That's how and they listened to me. They didn't realize they were listening to me, not her.
It reminds me when we used to hitchhike back in the days. We'd all hide.
Oh yeah,
The woman up there, the hitchhike.
yeah, that's the deal.
Okay.
So I used her for that. You know what I mean? To help me get the message across that I wanted to be there, and they would listen to me that way. And we finished up getting in and doing some local blues thing, local venues playing blues. And that's where it all really kicked off from. I had the twins with me, Barja Barakai, me, and Tinjai.
What is the name of the band? If the band that you're in was called the Rubber Band,
No, that is Buddy Knox Blues Band.
that's the Buddy Knox Band.
That's all.
And it's family, and you've learned so much. What a privileged experience you've had to learn from all those greats.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what's within me. That people don't really know, would they? That's what's within me. People like Michael Donovan know. They went through the same thing he did. So it's what I have, and I'm gonna do it until I stop.
And I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I'm my favourite musician. The work you do. I know.
It's the passion, though. The passion is there to do it. Otherwise, I say to Fiona, I might give it a miss. But then when I do it, I don't stop, really. I just keep going.
Well, you just give them what you learned. Like
That's right. That's
so
what
it gave to this young fellow that was Buddy Knox.
Oh, that's what shaped me. My father. Oh, jeez. Stuff he would do. You ever seen in the old days? Oh, you might say it. He'd get up there and he'd do that shaking on the stage. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. And our Jimmy had the best voice in the whole country. I can't remember what group he put off the chart to be number 2, but he became number 1 with Telephone Glory. Telephone to Glory. You know that Telephone to Glory. Well, that song put up another big band. I can't remember who that was. He put them off number 1. And he went number 1.
Okay.
So and I guess I recorded that one too. I did it because I wanted to remember him or recognize him.
So many people you can look up to.
But that's the thing. That's what's within me, and that's what I'm doing this all the time. But yeah,
Because I was going to ask who is that one Aboriginal artist to look up to, but it's kind of a difficult question. They all offered something.
That's right. Like B.B. King, Freddie King, Muddy Waters, Jimmy Reed, Robert Johnson, they mean nothing to me compared to my father, Cole Hardy, Jimmy Little, Orlando, Vic Sims, Bob McLeod, Harry Williams. They're the people that they got the strength. They motherfuckers, they're just musicians. Bobby McLeod, he was the whole guy. He was crazy. Well, he didn't muck around when it came to that, the 10 Embassy. And Uncle Jimmy was there. I don't think he wasn't. You know what I mean? And Charlie Perry, they was all there.
Yeah, so that uncle did the shake. Like, I don't think you take it out. I've never seen you do that.
No, I can't. No, jeez, no, I can't do that. I got a sore leg. I had full that.
So that's the word. I can say I don't do because I've got a sore back. That's what I say. Well, then, what about this then as a question? What's the most single important bit of advice that you pass on to a young musician?
Oh, geez. If depends on what you want to do in your musical career. You have to stay focused on what you want to do. Like, I mean, be around good people that can help guide you. Like, everyone should have some type of mentor person. And one of the way, if you want to get good, you gotta practice. You don't practice. You gotta practice. You put more in, And that's how you get better. But you stay focused and you look to, if you're Indigenous people, I'm talking about anyone, I don't care what they races, but I'm more, worried about my people. They need to, I think, get some of their own traditional language a part of their song and bring that back as well. We didn't come up with none of that. But I always thought, I listened to Ariana Grande, people like that, I was like, she started singing in Spanish, and I thought, my ears pricked up. I said, what the hell? This was when she first come up. I thought, they need to, Murrays need to do that. I know white people was doing it, but then a lot of kids coming through at one point wasn't doing it. They wanted to look to the US and whatever they were doing, they want to do that. I said, well, you gotta look to not just US, look around the whole world, but start with your culture first and put language there. Because them guys in India, they got down language that they use in their songs. Them ones in Vietnam, they got theirs, and same with Middle East and Kazakhstan or whatever. They all have their culture that they put in their music. And this is why you don't hear much of it, because US is where we only look to, and I don't look there at all. I just play blues and I know it comes from there, but I away from all that, I look and listen to other music all around the world, but use your cultural thing, like wherever you're from, your language or any of that, in your songs. And get around good mentor people. And also brush your teeth. There's that one there. I just got it filled out. Anyway.
Hey, look, before we end, I did want to ask about a little routine or a thing that you kind of do before each show. So, and what do you kind of do after a show? Do you just get off and walk off stage? Is there a...
before the show, you're really thinking about the set and looking at, what better where you at. If you're around some, like today, I'm going to the showcase, try and do a couple of Murray songs, and if I'm around blues people, I stick solid blues. I might do that and tell your story. Oh, that's the other thing with that last question is tell your story. That's what I try and do too. And then you just and I try and bring my family in. So my son plays with me, my daughter sings with me, and my other son sings as well. So and when I get off, I just go and get a chew.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for your time, and it's been an honour to know your family and to work with you.
Yeah, I'll thank you for having us, and we're just gonna keep doing more what we've done.
Yeah, and so to all the young musicians, as Number Buddy's saying, stay focused, and the people you hang around.
That's right.
Be mindful of who you with, and if you can. Practice, and put some culture into what you're doing. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.